Alrighty. So, last week, Rada and Uri got fed up with the war taking so long, so the two of them decided to single-handedly go and deal with the Saxon problem themselves. So we journeyed.
Oh no!
So we journeyed in the wilderness for 40 years until we finally reached the Holy Land.
Needless to say, they had to roll for new characters, so.
I can't hear you, Jen.
Needless to say, they had to roll for new characters, so you've got new people to
I can half read her lips, but
They said, needless to say, we had to roll new characters.
Ernan was not protected as he believed he was.
I found you proof, Marco.
Awesome.
Ah.
Yeah, I was getting tired of playing Erden anyways.
Okay, wait. Please don't tell me that that's accurate.
I think we're getting pranked.
We better be getting pranked.
But we still can't hear Jen.
That's very pretty.
In all seriousness,
That is on Temple Square. We walked around Temple Square and admired the flowers.
the
Okay.
courtyard in
My
front
arms
of
are
Salt
so
Lake.
natural.
Say that again, Arthur?
Is that
The new statues up there.
Is that the new courtyard they have in front of the temple?
That is actually right in front of the Relief Society building. There were very particular that was in front of the Relief Society building, tulips and daffodils. I guess your arms do look unnatural, dear. Why does your right arm look broken?
Well,
You're with your joints.
Because
what
it's held
actually
together
happened
by
last
little
time
diamonds
was
and
that
string.
we finally arrived
hope.
at the right. We got Yorath to a town in Kimri. Finally arrived at the camp after 2 weeks somehow.
We followed Emerald. Emerald led us there.
Yes, which just leads me to think that we were recreating the Israelite journey from Egypt to Canaan on a shorter time frame. Because at least and I remember the journey to Londinium from the camp took 2 weeks.
True.
But the rain was heavy when we arrived. Camp looked more permanent. Gorlois dragged Erden away to have a private meeting. Idea reunited with Cadmus and had an excited talk about what happened and the fact that they now have a carriage to disassemble.
And Cadmus spoke to me in Fae.
Cadmus knows a tiny bit of Fae.
Talk to people. Yes.
Brina went to find Leoflid and eventually Amor. Rada got in contact with Lou. Erden's private meeting was a therapy session for Uther. And basically, everyone is down, especially Uther, because not only Aurelius, but also a majority of the Kimri army is dead. And they had just put or lulled Uther to sleep after giving him a bath, and everyone else was getting soup.
Soup, dude.
Aaron cleaning up the deck.
I need your help. I can't find your clothes. Well, hurry up. I can't find any. Well, where are you? I'm at soup.
I'm at soup. I'm at soup. What would you just name a restaurant soup? But that's not the only thing that they sell. Like, they sell, like, burgers or something like that, or something random. It's like, where'd you get the good food? Oh, it's soup. But it's not soup. Exactly.
There's a restaurant here called Soup du Jour.
I still can't hear Jen.
I can't hear Jen at all.
Do you have her muted?
She's not even getting the green box.
Yeah, no green box at all.
Yeah,
Can you guys hear her?
Yeah, she's fine.
On our
Okay,
end.
so then. 1 moment, please.
They're
I
gone
don't
for
read-
a week, and suddenly everything's broken.
You can hear her.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
yeah. You got a green box too.
I'm saying there's a restaurant called Soup du Jour. Soup of the day.
Does it sell only lobster bisque?
I don't know. Never been there. I'm not a big soup person.
Yeah, we didn't have a session last week because it was going to be an RP heavy session with probably Brina and Amror involved. So
And Brina and Amber were both missing in action. So,
Yep.
Gotcha.
No. Anyway, currently, most of you are together eating soup.
Yes, that's right. Because Amor decided that we needed to discuss things over soup.
Yes.
I'm still trying to remember what exactly he was going to discuss in detail over the soup, but I remembered that he's decided that over soup was better.
so presuming that I
We went to go
have,
find Rada in 2. Amber and I.
presuming I have magic now and can actually cast spells, and presuming I have most of my spell list unaltered, going to use
Most of it is.
Sending on Erden. Basically say, when you are done with your private meeting, come to the Sea Dining Pavilion. We need to have a talk.
As far as you know, Rana, so far, it's working. You do get a message.
It's like, that's the way you phrase that is vague and unconvincing. It's like when someone makes a stealth check and they get a 14. It's like, yeah, you think you're hidden.
Say the difference you get this time though, Erden, you get this little like ding 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 right before. Because he is, a god of music. So it's really weird, like you're having this moment with your friends and then suddenly it's just ding 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 and you're like, what?
Ding, ding, ding.
A new message from Rada.
One new message from Rada, exactly.
You'll always know it's Rada.
Sounds good. I'll be over there shortly.
When you get the message back, Rada, you also get the ting ting ting.
That's going to be something I'll have to get used to.
Yeah, Ern will start making his way over since Carlos has left and Uther is decidedly passed out.
Yeah. As you're leaving the tent, there's 2 guards that are standing out there. They kind of like move to where they're like straightening up as you're coming out, and then like they were totally listening. And then one of them's just like, Do you have any instructions, sir?
He'll probably be out for a few hours. And he'll probably say he'll either want to call a meeting or someone will fetch him for it. So be prepared.
Sure. As you're walking away, you hear the other one go, "Is he a sir?" Like, I have no idea who this guy is.
But he was in his tent. He was in Uther's tent.
Yeah, he was in a meeting with one of the two of the higher people in charge and just walked out with confidence, so
Gordon.
Gotta be at least a sir, right? Maybe even a lord.
Right? You hope. Okay.
Or he could just be Airden, but they don't know that.
Sorry. This is slightly a tangent, but what came to mind with that is Monkey in Shrek 2. I'm a noble steed. Airden, I'm a star.
I don't know. I was almost thinking like one of those like government notifications, like those infomercials or something like. Did you see a good-looking person just stroll out of an important place, Ace? And you're pretty sure they're a lord? It might just be Erden. How to tell the signs?
Who knows? Alright. It doesn't take you very long to get to the tent where everyone is. They're all eating soup.
Aaron is
And bread.
definitely eating a bowl of it.
And Roy was very particular that we needed bread because Brina would appreciate it.
And I remember, and looking over my notes, Tooth had pulled out seasonings from his bag, add to the soup.
Yes.
Just like
He also didn't know
he
what the
drops
seasonings
everything.
were.
Yeah, he didn't know what the seasonings were.
Amber recognized one of them.
I think so.
Yeah.
Ern will just come by, plop down at probably the end of the table, and just be like, "Hey guys, so what's the happenings?"
Leopold just shakes her head.
Yeah.
And Tooth goes,
I mean, how filled in have you been at this point?
Considering he was meeting with Uther, pretty sure he knows Aurelius and stuff.
Yeah, that does seem a little bit like required reading for a meeting at these times, doesn't it?
maybe.
I just gotta have a really depressing meeting. Is there something a little more optimal around here? Optimistic.
Brina has bread. Brina has bread.
Yes, I have bread. This is learning Faye. He can talk to me. Well, a little bit. I can talk to him though.
Cadmus is going to help me with my project, and we're going to make a cool sword.
Cadmus is like this. The instant shift of animation between what Brina had said and what Idea had said, it fits him perfectly, but it's really funny at the same time.
Nice job, Cadmus.
Nice job on the language, or nice job on the sword that I haven't had started on?
Yes.
For participating in both.
Okay, cool, excellent. Yes, thank you. I think.
You're welcome.
Yes, that's a thank you thing.
Just take the compliment.
You know I'm not good at that.
Thank you now, and I'll thank you later.
Rada will stand up and as she's walking by her, and she'll whisper to him "When you've had your fill, I need to speak with you."
Okay.
And she's
Um,
going to stand by a door or a window.
as you get up to go by the window, Rada, another familiar face walks in. It's Boars. And he just stops and he's like, "Oh, you're all alive. That's good."
Honestly, I'm surprised sometimes when I wake up in the mornings that we're still alive.
Me too.
To be honest, all things considered, it might be some of the best news the camp has had all week, even if they don't know it. Been a little lacking for good news, if it hasn't been made obvious.
Haven't we all?
No. I know that feeling. So, Ben, we were looking all over for you.
Yeah, how long have we been... How long has
This
it been
time.
since we left?
Oh, almost 4 years.
4 years? I really wish the timeline thing would stop.
It didn't feel like 4 years.
I mean, look, I have heard the stories about this other world doing this weird thing. Obviously, I've never been, so I didn't know how real that was. Apparently, not true. You've heard about kids being abducted by the Fae, then coming back adults.
Speaking of which, Amor, there's now a sun in the other world.
Yeah, like an actual sun. The light doesn't just go on and off anymore.
Oh, if I had time to investigate that. That sounds like a problem waiting to be solved.
I thought Hans got home okay. Wait, no, we saw him the next day. He got home okay. Sorry, Dwarf who we met at the Library of Alexandria. He was very, very concerned about the sun.
Sun definitely doesn't belong in the overworld. I mean, not overworld, otherworld.
It does not. That is very strange. Just saying.
Yeah, in the other world, the light is either on or out there. Like it's either dark or light. There's not a transition.
One could say it's strange. I've gotten used to strange.
I think that's a really good plan of attack with this party. Get used to strange.
I mean, we very much follow our group's name. Going with the whims of fate.
Yep.
Roll credits.
Gotta have one of those.
We did end up in the other world, and it may have been because of some white lady who I think doesn't like us. Definitely saw us. What we didn't mention is that we went to a wedding and they made me wear a dress.
Yes, he did, and you looked lovely. You did a very good job.
Boris he's kind of looking around at all of you. I thought it was normal for ladies to wear dresses. No?
She's a blacksmith.
For most of us, yes.
Oh.
Dan preferred comfortable clothing to work in her forge.
Oh. Okay. I suppose that makes sense. I need to get food.
Actually, Erd comes back with another bowl because he got a second helping. He's just like, here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Brina offers up bread. It's like, and there's some bread too. And we made sure we had bread. I don't think it's not the same kind of bread that we had at your festival, but it's still good.
No, the camp food is hardly the same quality as the food at the festival, unfortunately. But we do make good with it, and it has its days. Sometimes. Get by on it. It's fine.
Let's see. Among other things, we've had some casualties on our end. Personnel and asset-wise. Personnel-wise, we lost Taliesin again and Tong.
Right. I don't think Boris met Tom.
Briefly.
Oh yeah, you're right. Boris did meet Tom. Sorry.
Hmm?
The timeline is messing with my head.
Yeah, he's the one that said I like her.
Correct. Right. Yeah.
Asset-wise, Ede and I lost our cleric abilities. Me temporarily, her permanently.
And now I think she's able
You're making it sound like much bigger deal than it is. I've got lots of other cool things that I can do.
I'm just glad that you got your magic sorted out because it was not fun watching you be not okay.
On the bright side, we have either regained our abilities or got new ones. Such as Idea taking more into artificery, and me becoming a cleric of Lu.
And we escaped from a diamond touch
Blue.
safely.
That's the best. That's one of the best parts of the story. And Adea pulls out one of the eyes. We got two of these.
Malfoy just set down her spoon and she's just like had her head cocked and now she's just like, oh no. Boars! Like drops his spoon and he's just like, what the hell is what?
Oh, that I did.
I didn't even know why
Managed to eat some of us, but then it threw us back up again. Sorry, what was that?
What? That doesn't look like an eye. That looks like a sapphire.
Well, the toad is
A giant one. It's amazing. I don't know what to do with it yet, but we're gonna do something amazing eventually.
We ended up on the glass aisle first when we were whisked away from Londinium. And one of the first locals we met was the toad.
25-pound sapphire eye.
Okay.
Got two of them.
50 pounds of sapphire eye.
Man.
Ern like finally brings the bowl down of soup from his mouth, just like, yeah, sorry to dump all this on you at once, but they're really excited about all this.
It's not that, it's more I'm trying to. Oh wow. I'm not very good at storytelling, am I? I didn't start at the beginning.
Oh no, you're great at storytelling. You just start in the middle. Then go to forward a little bit, then jump to the beginning, then catch up, and then go to the end. It's a very interesting way of doing it.
I mean, you could argue that the toad was the beginning because that's when shortly after we last sent word.
It was the first local we met on the glass aisle when we got whisked away from Londinium. And thankfully, we survived. And we didn't lose Rong and Rada to the toad because it tried to eat them.
I'm sorry, did you say a toad was big enough to eat Rada?
Yes.
Where else do you think the eye came from?
I mean, like, you saw the size of its eye. Sorry, say that again?
I'm still trying to comprehend that that's an eye and not just a stone.
It's kind of hard to imagine unless you see it in person. I get that.
Brina, you might have the ability to do that. I don't know if you have the spell. I mean, Tom could certainly create an image of the toad if she was here.
Good idea. Minor illusion.
Can you make illusions large enough for the whole toad?
Doesn't have to be large. It just has to be there.
This has to be the concept image. You create a sound or an image of an object within range that lasts for the duration. Illusion also ends if you dismiss it as an action or cast this spell again. If you create an image of an object such as a chair, muddy footprints, or a small cube, it must be no larger than a 5-foot cube.
Do you have
The image can't create sound like silent image.
Only 5 feet cube, so
Yeah,
medium creatures.
So it's not
So
you cannot create it to scale.
It won't be perfect, but you can at least scale like that's what the toad looks like. Now imagine it big enough to eat the centaur.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'll scale it up till the eye fits.
Yeah. So minor illusion to portray what this toad looked like. So it looks like this.
Does it come with poetry that describes it? I'm not asking you to do poetry on the spot. I'm asking if Rena would do poetry on the spot. She's a bard.
Makes it worse because I want her to be a good bard, and I feel like I'm not being a good bard, but I don't think she would actually do the poetry right now because she's focusing on giving them an image.
Hey, every bard is different.
Anyways.
Do you need me to roll for that, Jen?
Does it have a roll?
It's a cantrip.
No.
A large diamond toad. It's eye we took in conquest.
No, you're giving me a good idea, so.
Chewed, centaur, and fox. Boom.
So, a large diamond toad with sapphires for eyes. Hanging away from it would have been wise.
Cadmus just.
So, it's like, yes. So this, but big enough to eat Rana.
And to have this eye.
Yeah, and to have that eye. So, yeah, if. Does that help at all, Boris?
Don't take this the wrong way. But part of me, like, I'm glad you guys are okay. But part of me wishes I had waited a little longer for supper. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin your appetite.
You didn't ruin my appetite. I just.
It's a lot to take in at the moment.
His head hurts.
Yes.
It's hard to take in sober.
Yes. So we.
But it just doesn't have alcohol in it.
Better not be spiking the hot chocolate.
But yeah. From there, conversation ensues. Whenever you are ready to go talk to Rada, Ernan.
Yeah, he'll do it shortly. He sucked on those 2 bowls and some bread.
Excellent.
Dorado, what you need to talk about?
Well, first of all, how did the conversation with whoever it was? Presumably it was Golos and Uther.
Yep.
How well did that go?
Well, seeing as Uther blamed himself for the death of Aurelius, about as well as could be expected. I'm
And
optimistic, but it might take a little while for him to be back to normal, I guess.
hopefully cooler heads can prevail.
At the very least, there's supposed to be a strategy meeting tomorrow about everything, so
Presumably the leaders. That. You mind if I ask you something?
sure, why not?
Why are we here?
Because I was, as far as I can tell, I was asked to get my friend out of his funk.
Is that the only reason?
Well, yeah, that's why I wanted to go.
There's been something that's been on my mind ever since I've gotten my divine funk situation taken care of.
Hmm?
Remember back over half a month ago in Centaur, when we last had a conversation of this caliber?
Somewhat, yeah.
I told
But
I told you that I had made a
that's mostly for the player, sorry.
I told you that I had made a promise to my sister to locate my parents.
Hmm?
And, well, it except for a few people, it seems that we've either. Well, I am the only one with a personal quest that is not completed. Heck, I haven't even tried for mine. And now it has grown. Because not only have my parents disappeared, my sister is, last we heard, alive, but it's been a while, so who knows? Don't know what happened to my aunt since we never got a response from her. My brother is missing, and so is my foster mother. Though I am less concerned about her because, she can do well to take care of herself. It's more of a personal issue that I want to take care of.
Hmm.
Now, for some of this can be taken care of rather quickly, but others, the trail is just going to get more cold. At this point, I don't expect my parents to be alive, but I want to know what has happened to Zim. So, I want to put more of an effort into that. But I don't want to go dragging you or the rest of you around if you don't want to, especially since we just got here. You know, I think I've thought of another reason as to why we're here.
Hmm?
We need to get compensated for that deadly mission we went on.
Yep. Still haven't done that yet.
So, what would you suggest I do?
Have you tried using sending, since you apparently can use it again now?
No one would be expecting what we just learned. It happens every time I would be casting it now. So chances are that I'll be ignored for at least one of them. And Tong said that she was able to send a message to Unknown, but was not able to get a response back. As for my brother and my parents, I'm almost scared to find out if I do. Seems too easy.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. But at the same time, you're planning on going on a journey to find them anyways. It's... Even if you don't use the sending, either you won't find anything out, or they could be dead anyways. I know it sounds harsh, but it's better to check now. Even if they don't respond, you'll know that they are out there. Because a body in the dirt is a lot harder to find than somebody walking around.
Let me just quickly mark off that spell slot.
I'll be there every step of the way, if you need me to.
Rada is going to use sending. Just remind myself as to the names. So I should probably think of the message.
Can I get a high or low from someone?
Did you hear me, Jen?
Yep. Not too much.
Sorry, my phone is taking its time.
Modern technology.
Galenos. It's Rada. Haven't heard from you. Hypatia said you are missing. Where are you?
Who is that again?
That was the younger brother.
Okay, that's what I thought. Just double checking. I was like, wait, let me make sure I know who I'm. You felt the spell take hold, send off, but you haven't received a response as of right now. You are aware that depending on how far away someone is, it can take some time. But it is nerve-wracking.
Yeah, Ern is going to see Rada tense up as the time lengthens.
Could you repeat that, Arthur?
Erden will see Rada tensen as the duration lengthens.
Gotcha.
How long do you want to wait for a response?
A minute.
Just like sit a minute? Okay.
And
Right.
as
Yeah.
Ern sees Ra getting nervous, he'll actually like hold out for your hand. It's like, hey, you'll be all right.
She'll take it.
A minute passes with no response.
Let me just catch my notes up.
I'm so close.
You have to wait for one person to respond to you with a sending before doing another sending?
You don't have to
Or
give
can they
a response.
Okay. Or can the responses come in later, basically?
Yeah, they can happen later.
I don't think I have a character that uses sending, so I'm not as familiar with it, even though we use it all the time. Anyway, I wasn't sure if you're on a phone call where if you're on a phone call and waiting for them to pick up, that you have to complete that and like complete it, leave a message before you can call somebody else.
It's more like telegraph.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Actually, if you think about like the limit of like 20 words, it's kind of like the more expensive it gets, the more words you can pay for, is kind of thing. Yeah.
25 word limit.
You kind of
25.
be.
Message?
Kind of like text messages used to be.
Mm-hmm.
For those of us older enough to remember those.
I heard about it.
I had a pay as you go from the.
Yep. And I drove
Actually,
me crazy when I would text Megan and she texts back K. And I'm like, Megan, you were wasted 50 cents for a K. I'm going to kick your butt.
I'd like to buy a K.
For 50
I
cents,
told
you
her
gotta
that
be buying
once.
a vowel.
I told her that once and she started putting potassium instead. And I was like, Megan. Knock it off.
Nerds.
If she can get potassium for 50 cents, then I think we can make a killing.
Yeah.
You know, light Viking boats on fire. That's an option too.
I already did that.
All right.
That's where they got the potassium from.
So
All the time.
Megan, I believe the 50 cents for potassium. Of course, Edward gets it. Megan's his dealer in the future. Potassium dealer.
Put it past her. All right, so yeah, the minute passes, no response.
is there still like a feeling that the spell is traveling, or is there just once I sent it, I just have to wait?
Once you send it, you just kind of have to wait. Like a telegram, it's like,
all right,
it's gone. I can hope.
It's out there. It's out there, and we wait for it to return.
Yeah.
alrighty. It's going to use sending again. I just mark off both spell slots. Yeah, I think this one will be more obvious because who am I addressing?
Uh-huh.
Mama, it's been so long with no word. Are you alive? Is Papa with you? I am coming.
Okay. I need another higher low.
I gave the last one. So.
Low.
Perky dokey. You send off your spell. Again. You wait. You gonna wait another minute?
Yep.
Okay. So you're waiting, and then at about the minute mark, Rana, I need a Constitution save.
Do I get Erden's thing?
Yes.
I think
You need not ask.
I think I'm going to need it. So what's the bonus?
5.
Okay. Got 17.
17. So you're not entirely sure what happened, but you feel like you've like literally hit a wall and hit a wall with so much force that you almost get whiplash from it. And from your perspective, Erden, it almost looks like she's gotten into some sort of collision. Like she thrashes forward like she's hit something. Quite suddenly. So.
Yeah, Ern's grip immediately gets tighter seeing that. Just like, are you alright?
Can I make a perception check to see if I notice what's going on?
Depends where you guys at. Did you leave the tent? Did you just move somewhere a little more?
Because we were talking with.
Private.
Okay, but are you still within sight?
I would think we're still in sight. Just
okay.
Moving so we're less out of earshot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't expect to hear anything, but like the motion of you moving like that, I have a feeling. I mean, my passive's only 11, so that's why I'm asking to roll.
Is there?
You can give her. Well, I guess
it would more private in the tent that we were in. It's the food tent.
Well, not everybody's going to be in there all at once. There's no way they'd all fit.
I feel bad that I rolled so low, so I don't think that's gonna work. I rolled a 10. It's lower than my passive.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably gonna be your passive unless you're like actively watching them.
Yeah, no, and I don't think I was actively watching them at all, but I'm kind of like maybe a lull in the conversation, kind of like look around and realize that they're not there and maybe like wonder where they are. But
okay. You said you got a 10?
I rolled a 10. My passive is an 11, but I rolled it. I rolled a 9, but perception is a +1, so I have a 10. That's sad when what I roll is worse than my passive.
I mean, it happens. I'm gonna say in this case, it's not gonna make a whole lot of difference. You don't see her jerk, but when you do look up, you do see like Erden holding on to her and looking at her. Like they're pretty close. Like he's leaning in to talk to her.
So I can tell the rod is in distress, basically.
Yeah. So not necessarily more than that.
I'll just keep watching because I don't want to intrude, but I also want to make sure I can help if possible.
Yeah. Oh, hiccup.
I think physically I'm alright. I mean, apart from the fact that you're crushing my hand. So, to be fair, I'm probably also crushing your hand.
Yeah, it seems to be kind of mutual at the moment. Let's both release.
I feel like I crashed into a wall with that last one.
You kind of look like you crashed into a wall.
So, that it makes me think of two things. One, which I think is the least likely, is that she's dead, and I was sending contacts, is able to reach the dead, or she's somewhere like a nun.
Man, if only we had a library that had all the answers.
You just took us out of? Yeah.
Well, you told us we had an urgent message to get here.
For him, it was urgent. When you've been in those situations, feels like life or death in the moment.
We were kind of lacking our ability to clarify as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think a few of us may have been freaked out by the fact that there's now a sun.
That too.
Like, it's not right here.
Let's go to a place where the sun is normal.
There's still a sun. It's just expected here.
The sun makes sense here.
Are they prepared for a sun in their world? Do they have proper sun protection? Do they have sunscreen?
Considering how Hans the dwarf reacted, no, they are not.
Well, that's a continuity error because remember, was it Henry that was the half dwarf?
No,
Harold?
that had
Yeah.
It was our half dwarf at the very beginning of the campaign. When we left him behind, he had turned into stone and had to be put into a bath.
Harold. Not Henry. Harold. My bard friend that saved me from the Selkie. Yeah, he turned to stone.
And that was in the other world.
Yes, but that was also in part because he had no clothes because he was taken for the wild hunt when he was off with some girl.
he did bring that upon himself.
He didn't have any of his clothing on
Well, no,
when he was taken for the wild hunt.
There was also another instance where Rada and another person had to go back for him because we started the day and we left him behind.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Henry went back. You're the only one's big enough to pick him up.
And you had faster walk speed.
Their foot.
I think that was also Henry.
Yeah, I think Henry dropped Harold onto his foot when he was a rock.
Yep. Do you recall that happened?
Okay, so refresh my memory really quick as a player because my brain decided to not quite remember. So the two options are she's dead or somewhere like a noon. Remind me again of the part.
Well, if Adea was around, she would suggest she has another crystal she could throw at the crazy magic monsters.
So, back when we started recording these sessions,
when we started working on
actually,
the
I think it
first one.
was the very first session that, at least on my end, that we started recording these.
Mhm.
I believe it was Rhiannon, came, fed the refugees in Thrinakia, and evacuated them somewhere safe.
I confused the places, never mind.
Leaving us behind to deal with the Magic Eater Elemental.
Okay. I think one of those sessions he missed. And I think that's why I don't remember as well.
I fully remember the Magic Eater Elemental because this is why Adea started working on the first crystal.
That part I remember. I don't remember Rhiannon and the refugees. That's the one that we missed.
I do recall that as well, but it was kind of brief.
Maybe I missed that one. But that was Thrinakia, not a Nun.
Yes, but they were evacuated somewhere safe. They were taken to a Nun.
Oh, okay.
Tong tried to get a sending to Nomaki, Rada's aunt. And while she was able to get a message to...
you couldn't get one back.
Yes. And it was explained that... her message was allowed through because this news is a lot better coming from someone that you're familiar with versus just like a random stranger, even if they're a goddess telling you.
Okay, thank you.
Feel caught up now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you weren't there, Mary, because I have Idea and Tiberius taking a watch, Henry and Haas taking a watch, Tooth putting sand in people's boots.
Because he couldn't find any rocks, I'm guessing.
And then Rhoda and Erden on watch when Hypatia showed up.
Everybody else is on watch. Tooth is on watch.
Yeah, on watch for opportunities to put sand in people's shoes. You must inhabit every beach. Sorry. Please continue with everything else.
Yeah.
Thanks for the update or the refresher.
Alright. I was already considering on informing the others, but now I think I really need to inform them. Unless you suggest otherwise.
What do you mean? And then, like, they're specifically stopping you from talking to people?
Yes.
That seems excessive. Aren't they more protective of the physical border, not, information?
But remember, Tong was able to get a message in, but that may have been just because the recipient would want a message from someone familiar versus a stranger. And
Remind me who Tom sent a message to.
I believe it was Hypatia.
Which is Rhoda's aunt. Right?
Yes.
But Rhoda's trying to contact her mother. That seems like a more logical reason to have that message go through.
Yeah. Tong sends message to Nomaki. There's no response. Anun is protected by the Tuatha De Danann. There is effectively a force field wall around Anun.
Okay.
Don't the, doesn't the very mechanism of sending require you to be more than strangers?
It requires me to be familiar with the target.
Yeah. So doesn't that by
definition with my own parents?
No, I'm saying that to block that in the first place would be ridiculous. What I'm suggesting is that it's something completely different.
Well, regardless, I think something is preventing me from contacting them. Unless...
Oh, absolutely.
Which suggests, at the very least, she is alive.
Mm-hmm. To intercept a barrier at all would require it to go to that barrier at all. Yeah. She is out there.
Then I definitely need to leave at some point. I want to leave all of you. And
then
if they're stopping me, if they're stopping a spell from me, then it's beyond my power alone. Rada will then look at Erden as if she wants to ask something, but doesn't know if she wants to ask it.
Would you like me to come with you?
As for as many problems as you have been party to, whether intentional or not, you are the person I trust the most in a fight.
All right.
Yeah. I think we should talk with the others about this. If they want to come,
Yeah, we should.
if they want to come, I think we should at least wait for Adea to get her iron.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wait a few days for Idea to make her sword. And probably do a couple other things.
Hmm.
She's been patient enough.
Especially with the weirdly long trip they took to get here.
Yeah. I didn't want to bring it up, but if you saw it too, then
I'm used to wandering around the wilds. You think I don't notice? I mean, this is very similar to a story that I read one of those many times I got distracted at the library. So, these people called the Israelites, they were apparently slaves in Egypt, but then they got liberated by this person called Moses and were in the wilderness for 40 years because they were misbehaving.
Huh.
Damn it, too.
Seems like a bit long, but okay. But yeah, no, I've lived around here for a reasonable amount of time. I know how to navigate. I know how to navigate when the fog is so thick you can't see your own hands fully stretched out. Stuff seemed to take a while.
Let's return to the group. Yeah,
Hey.
let's sweep that under the rug for now.
I was gonna say, I think as they're coming back towards us, I would probably get up and like meet them halfway, and just kind of look up at Rada. It's like, you okay?
Depends.
On what?
How you view what we'll talk about soon enough.
Rada. Ting, ting, ting.
Oh,
A familiar voice shows up. It's like, I'm not dead, and you're one to talk. Where the hell have you been?
Or like immediately sees Rosbud, just kind of like slaps him on the back, like, "Hey, we got 2 pieces of good news."
Good news? Are you sure? It looks. I can't tell if she's actually happy.
nah.
Oh no, that's the sibling face.
Oh, yeah, you were right. That is a sibling face. Wait, siblings?
Uh-oh, somebody told Brina that there are siblings.
I don't remember if Rada's told me that she has siblings before or not. I have a feeling she probably did, but at the same time, because I hadn't asked the names, maybe she didn't. Because I would have asked the names.
That's right, because Mary wasn't there the one time we had Rada's sister present.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually. Rita didn't know there were siblings. Siblings. There's more than one?
I think enough time may have passed that it may have been forgotten. So the name is probably like somewhere in her notebook if she keeps a track of the people she's met, like written down.
I don't think Rena would necessarily need to write it down because it's such a big part of her culture. I almost feel like it's kind of like those oral genealogies that you memorize it, you remember it. And so her brain is already trained to remember random amounts of names. So I don't think she actually has to write it down as much.
I was going to say, I feel like she wouldn't have to. So if she doesn't know it, she probably didn't know it.
Yeah, like if I haven't asked a name for these siblings, which I would have, I didn't know there were siblings.
So you definitely know her, at least Rada's sister's name, because that's who we met. Like the very first person that we met in Thranakia.
Okay, and even though I, as a player, wasn't there, my character was technically there.
Yes.
Okay, then if you don't mind me retconning what I just roleplayed. Wait, so her sister?
No. No.
You have another sibling?
It's my damn brother.
You have a brother? Hey, what's his name?
Galenos.
Selenos. What's the sister's name again?
Hypatia.
Hypatia. Okay, thank you. Well, what did he say?
He said I'm one to talk.
Sorry, you don't have to tell me. Sorry, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I just... You're one to talk? Okay. Talk about what? Sorry, I'm confused and I just want to make sure you're okay. Or if I can help.
Talk about me, talk about I.
He's not wrong, but it's still annoying.
He's the younger brother, isn't he?
Yes.
Why do you think I pointed out that specific face?
You've seen it on your sister enough times, I'm guessing.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it on Ren's once or twice. Probably when I've tried to bring home an animal that I shouldn't have.
Speaking of today, the girls that my sister was nannying, my sister nannying for, we picked them up from school and she was getting ready to drop me off at work on her way to taking them all home. And they were fighting about something in the back seat. And they were like, it's like, oh, she hit me. My sister's like, was like trying to make a point. She just swung out and smacked me on the shoulder. And I wasn't paying attention to what's going on. So I'm just like sitting there minding my own business. And I'm like, why are you hitting me? And she's just like, I'm proving a point in all this. Later, I'm just like, that actually really hurt. Like, I feel like I'm going to get a bruise. And she's like, well, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm like, you're not proving a point to these little girls. They're not going to think it's okay to hit them each other. Stop it.
Taking logic is tracks.
I was just like, look, what's more important here is that the older sister, who was the one complaining to begin with, was tattletaling, which is just as bad.
Yeah.
Like, don't be whiny about it.
Don't be a narc.
You want your sibling to trust you when it really counts? You better not tattletale on him now.
Stitches get stitches.
Yup. Anyway,
So
so yes, I yelled at the sibling face tonight.
so yeah, yes, it's there's a second bit of good news, if you can call the first bit good news.
What's the first bit?
We'll
I mean,
talk
other
about it
than
later.
okay,
Team
what
meeting
did your
later.
friend say? If that's not prying, I don't want to pry, but all right, curiosity.
Like I said, we'll have a team meeting later.
Okay, so you're okay? Like, can I do anything to help? I mean, I probably can't do anything to help with the brother part, but oh, brother, that's awesome.
Well,
Maybe.
that we'll talk about it if there's anything you can do at the meeting.
Rita just kind of like crosses her arms and just kind of huffs. It's like, so many meetings. I understand, but really, why can't you just tell me now?
She agrees with me. Too many meetings.
I said so many meetings.
No, this is something I'd rather say
I
once.
failed to recognize the difference.
This is something I'd rather say once to everyone than repeat it 5 times.
That makes logical sense. Thanks. Sorry about that.
It's also something I want everyone's input on. So, to be honest, Tooth doesn't give a lot of input.
Nobody asked my opinion. They make assumptions.
If you spoke up more.
I speak up as high as I can go.
These just remind me of a TikTok or YouTube short that just went, you look down on us. Of course I have to look down on you. You're short as heck.
Secretly, Tooth is just one big TikTok joke.
That's not a surprise.
You know he'd be an influencer.
He'd be an awful influencer. Hey guys, today with Keith, we're gonna figure out how many people I can piss off with putting stuff in their shoes.
Don't forget your magical vial of never-ending whiskey, or even better, the moonshine that'll give you blood poison or give you poisoning. Thank you.
At that point, like, Rod is just going to like reach down, turn Bruna back, and like rejoin the party.
Does this mean the Tooth throwing popcorn in the movie theater?
Yes. He's throwing popcorn in the movie theater. He's jumping up and down on the seats. He's the one yelling at the screen. Rita's probably the one muttering, "That's not how it happened in the book."
So Cadmus and Boars don't seem to realize that anything was going on, but as you guys rejoin the table, Leophilid is watching all of you with narrowed eyes. She doesn't say anything, but yeah, she's not gonna say anything, but she's definitely aware that something's going on.
You know, as a player, I don't mind getting the NPCs involved in this party meeting.
Okay.
As a player, I don't mind either. Marco, Dominic?
I do not have an opinion at this moment in time.
Today's biggest opinion about party meetings was just stated. And everyone may or may not be invited. Everyone's also more responsible, so you
Oh
invite
no,
him.
Armor is absolutely invited, even though he's.
Amber, I was gonna say, I can't imagine Rana not inviting Amber for this one.
No, if anything, it would be like, no, you're coming with. You're attending the meeting even if you're not a part of the group.
It's like,
Party member emeritus.
that's exactly what Amber is. He's a party member emeritus status.
He's party dad emeritus.
Not
Yeah.
a job you should be emeritus for.
Okay,
but
honestly,
it's true.
He's party dad, but party dad had to go off and work in a foreign area, and so we have Uncle Erden.
Yeah, I was about to say he's party dad, but he had to go get milk.
Ugh, these time skips are making that sound really awful.
Right?
Yeah.
No, with the time skips, he's just had to go get milk multiple times because every time he comes back, he's like, where did the rest of my children go?
One of these times you're gonna come back and Amber's gonna be married with kids, and you're gonna be like, "What?"
I have
Mazel
five
tov.
Well, we were talking about that earlier.
To see Brina coming into that situation, it's like, missed your wedding.
I feel like that is the happy ending for Amber. I don't know if Amber gets a happy ending. I do feel like that is the happy ending for Amber.
How did you meet? I rescued her from the Saxons.
I can't believe
Your
I missed
average
wedding.
meat cute.
Alright.
Yeah, their meet cute happens in the middle of a war. Because honestly, that fits Amber.
At this point, it's the only way.
Normal noble life.
It's going to be one of the longbow woman.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
It really makes me wonder what languages Amber actually speaks. I don't think Kimmer is one of them.
That would be interesting.
Now I'm just.
Don't think Amber is one.
Now I'm just thinking of Mulan's like practice with her horse and like talking like a man. It's like, I see you have a sword. Very manly.
Love that because the horse is laughing at her and she throws her shoe in his head. It's like, I'm working on it.
You know, I just
Like-
imagine like, I see you use a bow too.
Funny because he's actually a sword and board ranger.
Yeah, he's a sword and board ranger. He's not a bow. Well, he has a bow,
He does have a bow.
but he's a sword and board ranger.
He does not speak Kimmery, though. He speaks more useful languages on this island than most of our party, though. Britain and Latin.
Pretty much unless we're in useful languages in this world.
Plus he has Faye, so he can talk to the party.
Translate for us. Well, for me.
You don't find a whole lot of good uses for his Spanish, though.
It didn't spend a whole lot on mainland.
When they get back to the group, Rada's going to like sit Brina down. She's going to let Erden like do what he wants, but she's going to stand and say, "Whims of fate, we need to have a talk. Amror, you are most certainly invited. Is the rest of you? You're not invited to leave. In fact, your input might be welcome."
Flores looks up and he's just like, is this gonna be some sort of trauma?
Not for you,
I
but
guess-
for me.
So
Well, I
like,
guess the good news is we haven't been busy recently, so I've got time. Get something done around here.
So, most
I
of
mean,
us.
keeping everything in order best we can is getting something done, but yeah, holding patterns not fun. Especially where we're holding at.
So, most of us, we all woke up together in a random forest in the other world, and most of us had personal quests of sorts. Brina, you had, well, once we got our memories back, you wanted to restore
Oh,
your
Ren.
brother. Correct?
Which we did.
Yes, and that was accomplished. One of our other
We're all about to do
companions,
that.
I think, wanted to find his sister and or take revenge, but he is no longer with us.
Oh yeah, I think Harold's off fighting Vikings. He would have loved that fight on the boat with the Armada.
Nah. Others of us seem to never had any quests. Like, Odin, I don't think you had any overarching goal.
I mean, yeah, but it doesn't fit what you just described, so no.
Tooth, it's pretty much just have fun, don't get caught. Which he is successful in sometimes. And Idea, you want to make something that becomes a legend, correct?
True. Do I get included in this? I wasn't here for the whole like randomly waking up in a forest part.
No, but you have since joined.
Unless you're about to tell us right now that you're gonna run off into the nowhere.
She was trying to find Stonehenge when we met her. Does that count?
Catfish just goes, "Oh, have you never been to Stonehenge?"
No, I was trying to find it when I ran into the people. I was maybe trying to walk in the out portal.
Yeah, she was trying to walk into the portal, but she didn't have the password, so.
What's the password?
It's been a very roundabout trip to Stonehenge.
Amor,
Well,
did you have any goals besides seeing the rest of us home?
But directed at Amror.
Yes.
And seeing everyone home. And putting things in their place, both finding my own place and putting things that are out of place back in place. I mean, that is how we almost died to the White Lady.
The point being is that we've either accomplished our personal goals or are in the process of doing them or never had them at all. Mine has been neglected.
I feel like I should apologize.
It's not
I didn't
any
mean to
fault of
neglect your
you.
goals.
It's not any of your faults. If anything, it's my fault for forgetting about it. As my party members and both current and former know, or probably know, as she says, squinting at Idea. My parents disappeared when I was a child. And just had a chat with Odin about setting out for this quest. And he suggested that I magically get in contact with not only my parents, but also the other people in my family that have since gone missing, for lack of a better word.
Makes sense. But wait, we saw your sister. Missing? I thought she was with the refugees.
That is last we heard. And that was a long time ago. So, I have gotten word from my younger brother. But that's why I look so annoyed right now.
Sibling face.
However, when I tried to contact my mother, I was met with some kind of wall.
Leopold will frown and what kind of wall?
I don't know. It's like I cast the spell, sending my message, and then it's like I crashed into a wall. That's the only way I can describe it.
Hmm. Oh my gosh!
What was that?
My phone is making velociraptor noises.
Hmm.
That's my alert thing.
Gotcha.
So it's well,
So,
um,
uh, unless anyone knows what that may have been, I think it was one of two possibilities. On the one hand, it could be that the spell I used is able to contact the dead, or at least has the potential to contact the dead, though I think that is very unlikely. The other is that something stopped me from contacting my mother.
Rada, I don't mean to be indelicate, but why is your mom being dead not a likely option for you? She disappeared when you were a child.
It's not that her being dead is the issue. It's the spell contacting or having the potential to contact the dead is what.
Oh, okay, I see.
I know that the only way you can contact the dead is if you are a follower of Cernanos. I've heard of others attempting to send messages and being stopped, much in the manner you say. And the reason they found out later for that was that the spell could find the person, but the person's unable to respond. Cadmus will just kind of roll his eyes and he's like, quit being delicate. What she means to say is it can find their body, but they obviously cannot respond because they are dead. She's just like, then being indelicate is the way to go?
You are talking about her mom, Karen.
not being indelicate. I'm being blunt. Because the way you're wording it is that you're going to give her hope. And right now, what she needs is answers, not hope. She's got her brother. He's clearly fine if he's answering her. But if he's hitting a wall like she's hitting a wall like that, it's important that we make sure she understands what that means.
Thank you, Cadmus. Wait, it was Cadmus, right?
Yes.
Now, I would take that to face value if it weren't for this knowledge that we are aware of, in which case, or do you remember Tom?
That's a good question. No, he does not. No? Is that a drink?
No, our friend, the one who doesn't like nobility? Foxy looking?
The fox woman that brought us the information that led us to raiding the Saxon camp 4 years
Yes, I vaguely remember her. She was not friendly.
ago. Well, she had attempted to use the same spell that I just used to contact my aunt. However, there was reason to believe that she was in a nun.
Uh-huh.
And while she was able to send a message in, she was not able to get one back. And
But did Tom have the same experience of hitting a wall?
no. But we think that she was able to get the message in because it is better to receive a message concerning family members from someone you are familiar with than a stranger.
Leopold will speak at the end. That makes sense. I understand how the spell works. However, it is one thing to voluntarily be invited to a nun. It is another thing to end up there through death.
I don't.
And there are.
We have very good reason to believe that they were not killed. Rhiannon.
What reason?
Yes, the people that your friend Tom was speaking to. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Is that they didn't hit the wall. They were voluntarily brought there for whatever the reason is that they were voluntarily brought there for. So of course they can be reached because they are still alive. However, my guess is that the reason that they couldn't get the message back out is either that there are wards protecting that particular place in the other world. I'm not as familiar. I don't worship Cernanos. But some deities can be very protective of their, quote, underworld. I mean, from your perspective, was it easy to reach anyone in Hades' kingdom?
I never tried.
And there's probably reason. I'm sure that there had to have been somebody at some point who did. And
Now then,
either
this will be something for me to ask Lou about, and if Henry was here, he could ask Cernos, though I think Erden, you seem to have a way of getting to various gods. Would you see if you can contact Cernos to see if this is the case?
Yeah, I can try. I guess, guys, have they like set up like a permanent thing now?
Yes.
Since I guess this place is more permanent. Oh, they did. Okay.
Yes, I was there.
Sorry, that response to oh. Okay.
Yeah, that should make it a lot easier.
Now comes the hard part.
Hard.
I want to set out on accomplishing this. However, since we just got here, well, regardless of the case being dead or alive, I was prevented from contacting them, which means it is beyond my power alone. And Erden has committed to coming with me to discover their fate. Those of you that are a part of the Whims of Fate,
Boris just stands up and he goes, well, I have duties here. Good luck with that. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help from this end. Head out.
Bye, Boars. Good luck on your quest.
Just kind of like in a companion, like companion soldiers, just kind of like pat Rod on the shoulder as he walks by, and like, that feels for you. And he's just, I am also a prince. I cannot be wandering off anywhere right now. Albus, get out of my laundry hamper.
Oh, this is also probably like very awkward for him.
Yeah.
So
Closer.
Your help would be welcome, but I am placing you under no commitment.
Steven.
And you don't have to make a decision now. We will be here for the next few days. Because for one, we just got here. Also, to give Idea time to work on her things.
Really said Valley Dad?
I thought I was listening. Apparently I'm fading more than I thought. No, I did not.
Alright, I have a very, very tired husband.
I've been up since 1:30 this morning.
Jeez.
He was awake.
Yes. And then when I started getting tired, I did not end up going back to sleep. And then it was later, and then I just kept going and going. And
Planning to end.
Yeah.
Like nowish.
Yeah, and basically with that, Rada will say, take your time with this, and she'll leave.
Good. Cool. So we'll end there tonight. We'll let you guys decide. I do have thoughts, ideas. So depending, I don't care one way or the other. If you guys decide you want to go do this, that's fine. If you don't, I have plans for Rada. Okay? So either way, whatever you wish to do. So you'll have a week to decide whether you want to chase these leads or lack thereof. In some cases.
I guess as a player, I don't understand why Rada is so certain that they're alive. Because, like, with what Leopold was saying, it sounds more like even in the interaction where she comes up against that wall, I'm thinking, okay, the message isn't going through. Likelihood is that mom's dead. Like, that's how it seemed to me as it played out. And so I guess I wasn't quite sure why Rada feels so certain that that's not likely. So I get what Erden was saying with how the message did seem it went through and did hit a barrier. like I can see where you're coming from with that, where if it's actually going somewhere and hitting a barrier, then they're out there. But if they're in a noon because they're dead, then that's also a pretty decent barrier.
Well, we don't know if they're in a nun to begin with.
Okay.
Yeah, from Earth's perspective, it's more of, look, it's better to have hope, and if not, we have answers.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those. Frodo says, "I'm going to Mordor alone." All right, and I'm coming with you.
We're saying in that series, it's like there never was much hope. A fool's hope.
Okay. Okay, that's actually very helpful. Thanks. I just, as a player, I wasn't quite sure where that mindset was for Rana, and so I wanted to clarify that. So thank you.
Ouch.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, up until hitting that wall, Rada thought was considered it like it was most likely, considering it's been
Ages.
3 decades now. That there was a good chance that they were dead.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very much a surprise to have
the wall happen.
Yeah, to have that happen.
Okay. You never responded to your brother, by the way.
That's
Would
because
have taken another thing.
Rada would have to use the spell again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was his response to Rada's sending.
True. I was just wondering. I wasn't sure how many sendings you had. So.
Where have you been? And then days go by, and he's just like, "Bitch."
No, she's not going to deign a response until tomorrow for that. Like, you're one to talk comment.
Just like
what he said about Idea was that Idea has her sword to work on, and so Rada was acknowledging that Idea has this project that she needs to do, and so we'll have time to think over what we're doing.
Because we're a party that cares.
Like how Boris was just like all of a sudden, like I think he likes us, but I think he's also disturbed by us on a certain level. And I don't think the Toad. I think the Toad made it worse.
We're very good at showing up in weird places for him.
Yeah, we really do show up in weird places for him, don't we?
And the last time we were at the war camp, we showed up with boars because we just randomly showed up outside his camp.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, it's just like
before that, the very first time we met boars, it was right after we fought the bog.
The bog woman.
Yeah, the bog people.
Bogmen.
And yeah, the bogman, and we came across him again in the woods. Like we run into boars in the woods all the time.
Little do you know, boars
just...
have a real home. He's just into the woods.
Into the woods.
Actually, no. The first time was the woods. The second time was basically a tavern. The third time was in this camp. So we obviously have to get to a proper city now the next time we meet him.
So what it is, his theme song is going to be that one from Frozen 2. Now I'm lost in
the woods.
Yeah. Just lost in the woods.
But does he have his talking head with him?
Yes.
Titus? It was Titus, I think?
Somewhere. Yes, Titus.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that guy.
I love it. It's usually attached to his foot.
Do not forget Titus at all.
I think Boris sometimes wishes he could forget.
Oh, I'm sure Boris wishes he could forget Titus. I'm pretty sure he wishes he could forget the diamond toad with the sapphire eyes. They're 25 pounds and doesn't look like an eye, and he's confused.
Like, I know. I
I'm
can't
not
with
drunk enough to understand this.
I mean, lots of other people would also say that. Luther would be one of them.
You know, it's very much seems like every single time we like try and tell people what happened, it's always feels like a bar story. It's like, all right, so here we all were, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
It's like that.
It's like-
It's like that scene from Back to the Future. It's like, what do people do if everyone's got these vehicle? What's it's then? Then do people walk around? Yeah, they run for fun. Run for fun.
Why? Who would run for fun? I mean, yes, it's a good rhyme, but who's gonna do it just because it rhymes?
It helps me think.
Are you a runner, Arthur?
Yes, I did both track and cross
Oh
country.
yeah. My apologies. Yay. My apologies. I forgot that momentarily. And you've mentioned that before. Yeah, I am not one of those people that runs for fun. If I have to run, I'd probably be better at sprinting. Like I'm not good in endurance running.
Me either.
Yeah, I declared myself like my self-proclaimed king of running because I was able to do both the distance stuff and the sprints.
Well, that's pretty impressive because I know in cross country most of the time it's either kind of one or the other, right?
Yeah, I mean, most of the cross country people did do the distance races. But now I started with sprints. Halfway through the season, freshman year, I got moved into varsity hurdles.
Oh. Oh.
And then by
Yeah,
the time I graduated, I was doing more or less everything except like the triple jump and the throwing events.
Nice.
Well,
I have a feeling
I'm every event.
And all my strength is in my legs, and my foot-eye coordination is better with like a soccer ball. I have a feeling that hurdles would be the death of me. Very quickly.
They would certainly be the death of me.
The biggest part is not getting psyched out about the hurdle. It's basically just
I never got the run hurdle.
You're basically just trying to take a giant step over the hurdle. You're not trying to leap over the hurdle, you're trying to step over it.
The thing is I know I'd be bad at that because I tried to leap over a dead log once and I scraped up my inner thighs trying to do that. And I couldn't even brush it off as it didn't happen. My dad saw it.
I had a scar on my knee from like hitting the side of the hurdle during practice.
Oh.
But now I don't see it anymore.
My only visible scar is on my arm, and it's from a shelf corner at Bed Bath & Beyond.
I have a scar on my upper leg, left leg, from when I was a child, and I snuck out into the backyard and picked up some old metal that my dad had used to make a fence for the dogs section of the yard, and I was using it as a sword, and I scratched myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have a scar like right here from who knows what, and a scar on my left knee from when we were doing laser tag for a young men's activity. I didn't even notice I was bleeding until we were on our way out to the cars.
I was in the towel room of Bed Bath & Beyond, which is kind of the one that I took over. Like, I made it look nice and pristine. It was funny because my friends could come into our store and they could know if I wasn't there for a few days because the towel room would be a mess. But I turned the corner and I don't know if it's because I have broad shoulders or what, but my spatial recognition in turning corners, I run into door jams a lot. And apparently I turned too quickly. I didn't hit the bottom of the thing with my leg, but my arm, the corner just dug into my arm. And what's really scary for me is like I look at that, I'm like, about the height of a child's eye. if it can do this to my arm, I don't want to, and because it was just the corner was kind of jagged, and it's like, ooh, this is not good. This needs to be fixed because this is a safety hazard for children and klutzes. I'm the klutz in this example. I went washed it out and bandaged up, and it's this